All right, fan questions. Breaking it down this week, international break. Thank you for all the fan questions. Hot seat, Ten Hog. What are we doing? It's hot in the pod bunker. How are we feeling, sir?
It's hot. It's hot in the hot bunker. It's hot in the boardroom, the Ineos boardroom. I'm sure there are certain folks who are like, let's do it. I'm sure there are certain folks, let's not do it. We're talking about the firing of Erik ten Hag, whenever that's going to happen. And it's 86 in the pod room and climbing. So either way, let's see how the fans are feeling. I'm sure they're a little fired up because it's been frustrating. It's been frustrating. We've been talking about whether or not we should fire this manager for 14 months, basically since the beginning of last season. So here we are, living in kind of like a death loop, just the same thing over and over again. It's just like cycling back and back and back. And just how many times we talked about firing managers in the last game?
Sir.
Is it the same last game or is it his last? Oh, we're gonna fire him now. We're gonna wait till next game. It's like there's so many games to be like, yeah, we're not gonna fire him now. We're gonna fire him later. So either way, I think they gotta get a hold of this season sooner rather than later before it really slips away. Because there's still a chance that you could change things, but the longer they wait, the less time you have to do and the less chance you have to doing that. So what do they do at this point? I don't know.
We are all in that Groundhog's Day mode, but let's get into the fan questions at D_Cole18. Appreciate all the hard work y'all do making the pods and YouTube vids for us. Y'all are the best. Thank you for listening and supporting the Muppet Take. Really appreciate it. This club, it's down on our luck, sir. We'll be back. That's the hope. Here's hoping the boys will come back with some backbone, a point to prove, and some goals. 3-0, and we climbed to 8th early in the year, but this is a vital game for this group of players / bluffers and Erik ten Hag's job. Vital game. Every game's a vital game when you're 14th and you're Manchester United. Everton's not sweating in that range, but Manchester United should be, all the alarm bells should be ringing. Be like, does the football look good? No. Are we scoring goals? No. Are fans leaving early? Yes. Do we need to win? Yes. Let's hope we can get some magic. And at Man United DYL, glory, glory, Man United. As always, we will be back soon. I appreciate the positivity, sir. And at ABman_99, sirs, is this club doomed? Are we going to suffer for eternity? I do not see anything changing for the foreseeable future. Even the use of other clubs look better than ours. What do you make? Are we doomed?
I know
for eternity.
Eternity. That's pretty dramatic. I don't think we're doomed. I think actually the youth at other clubs, I'm not sure they do fare better than us because our academy kicked ass last year. The U21s, the U18s won all kinds of silverware, and they continue to perform. They both started really hot. We've signed a bunch of really talented players in young positions that will be, for the future. And at the end of the day, they're going to get it right. It's just going to take longer than we want because the problem that they were given is a huge problem at the biggest club in the world, one of the biggest sports franchises in the entire world. And it was a mess that was left to basically rot for 20 years. And they're like, all right, fix it. And it's been 8 months. They've been here for 8 months. So it's going to take a while. They're going to fuck it up. This is probably the first time where we would both, I think John and I would both say, like, they're messing this up. They're messing the manager up and how they've handled that probably since, honestly.
It doesn't matter, right? So I also want to, like, the counter take is, like, you and me are, like, just as fans pissed on the day-to-day because, like, hey, we want a little jump in the team. We want a little hope and a little magic on Saturday. Like, that's the whole point. It's like last year was horrible. Rangnick was horrible. This whole, like, death loop, like you mentioned, is horrible. We want a little magic, a little hope. Like, Rude would bring that. Tommy T would bring that. Like, something to just, like, some new ideas. Like, that's what we need as fans is what we want. But, like, we're getting the same old. But over the long term, I think Ineos is going to figure out. The new stadium, that's right. Like, their front office, that's right. So I'm confident in the long term. I'm just not confident in the short term. And in some ways, the short term is more important because I just got to sit through this team for another, like, 40 matches this year. And I just don't want to eat shit football or look at shit football every single time we play.
The long term is more important. It's just that in the near term, you're thinking about watching shit football.
We've eaten a lot of crow.
Yeah, we have, and we're gonna.
Like,
guess what? We had it so good for so long that was the only thing that was gonna happen. We were kings of the world for fucking 20 years, and we're gonna eat shit for 20 years. So guess what? We've eaten shit for 11 years. We've got at least 5 left, and it's gonna take a while to figure this out. So the team will get better. In the foreseeable future, no. It depends on how you define foreseeable. Like, we're not going to be good for like 3 to 4 years. And by good, I mean like a top 4 consistent team, and then
it's longer.
a couple
than
more
that.
years. No, 3 to 4 years to get in the top 4.
Where we disagree is on the timeline. Like, I think next title, you'd be like the Barada thing that
2030.
What did he say? He said 28. I was like, no way.
Because they want to do a 150-year anniversary of the club.
I think it's 8. No. I think, like, if you look at Arsenal, and you got to respect, you have to, like, I don't like Arsenal at all, but you got to respect where they're coming from. They've had, 20, 30 years since they won the last title? Was it at this point? It's like,
20.
And they should, like, they're knocking on the door and they're not going to get it. Right? So it's like, you got to be that good and then get over the line.
Well, you're also playing, you're playing like
level.
An artificial entity that's been allowed to cheat for a decade.
Yes, without getting into that. But you also want to say, like,
that is an element.
To get, I would say it's at least 8 years to knock on the door, and then to get it, it could be, Well,
there's no guarantee. If they don't punish City, it's going to be really hard to catch City, because even when Pep leaves, we talked about that in the last pod. We talked about that with the manager pod. It was like, you kind of have to be dependent on the team at a given moment. And City is a machine, so you could just bring in a 40-year-old stud from like wherever, and as long as he's a good tactical coach, they're professionals. They'll all be motivated. They'll just be a fine-tuned machine like you see with Liverpool and bringing in Artie Sloot. For United, we're a mess. Like, we need someone who could actually like motivate the lads, be a disciplinarian, but also command their respect. So at this point, it's like, we need to change. The reason United fans are just like sick of it is because we know it's not going to change under this manager. So you got to at least like try the next Dutch guy who's right there. You got to pay out Erik ten Hag regardless. So bring in Ruud. Maybe we'd see a bump, because right now, like, hey, the threat of him losing his job is not motivating these players, and it's not making the manager a better manager.
No, totally. And like, Arsenal's 21 years. United will probably be close to that as far as when I think we're going to be knocking on the door again.
Like 33? Yeah, that would be 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about right.
Yeah,
it'd probably be 20 years.
And by the way, when Sir Alex retired, I was like, they have to win the league, like, within the next 5 years. Otherwise, it's going to turn into this thing that is just like Arsenal. Like, you have to be able to get one.
Well, as soon as they did Moyes, it was
once you prove you can't get one without them, then it's going to turn this big thing.
Big thing it is.
Yeah, big thing it is. But look, let us know what you think. Get in the comments below. Subscribe if you're watching the American Red Devils on YouTube. Let us know what you think about the Muppet Take. Is the club doomed? And if so, how long are we doomed? And when do you think we're going to win the next EPL title? Until the next one.